experts, thanks so much for joining us live today. We are joined by the North Face snow sports team, or at least a couple of the members of the snow sports team at the North Face, right here at the North Face headquarters in California. We're going to run through a couple of product information that you guys asked about. We're going to find out what's new and exciting at the brand and what's so awesome about working here. And then in about 8 minutes, we're going to turn to your questions. So be typing those in right here in the chat. We're going to put these ladies in the hot seat. First, let's do intros. Let us know who you are and what you do here.
All right. Hi, I'm Glenda Mowry. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Women's Snow Sports here at the North Face.
I'm Ruth Beatty. I'm Design Director for Snow Sports.
Thank you so much. Something that I thought was so interesting about coming out here was that we heard that you guys were really highly represented at the Olympics this year. So just coming off of the Winter Olympics, what was it like to see your products, the things that you designed on all of these elite athletes?
Yeah.
It was so exciting.
Amazing.
Yeah, we all watched it together. We were out in Japan at the time, so the team who created it were in the bar watching and cheering, and we were just so proud and excited. It was awesome.
You feel like a parent seeing your kids up there performing. It's amazing.
Yeah, wearing the clothes that you
inducing.
made.
Yeah.
And it was really nice that we designed so many different pieces in the uniform with the idea that each athlete could express himself individually, and that came to fruition. Like, I think every athlete had a different uniform while still looking part of Team USA. So we were really excited.
So now that you're back home here in California, can you let our experts know what it's like to be in these headquarters? What's a day in the life at the North Face?
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a typical day. It's every day changes from one to the next, which makes it like really enjoyable and creative. It's a very collaborative environment. Like, we work with PMs, we work with materials people, product developers, and so it's a lot of just interaction and figuring out how to get stuff done.
Constantly evolving, constantly moving things forward. So never a dull moment.
Are there any kind of highlights that stick out for each of you as far as working with this team specifically, kind of a best of moment of your career so far here?
I mean, I think I can just say I'm thoroughly impressed by the snow sports team every day, and that is a highlight, being able to come to work and know that I'm going to be inspired by these individuals. I hands down work with the best team in the industry.
And I think that really comes through in your guys' products. I think people gravitate to you because they know that there's that kind of collaborative effort going on behind each and every product. So that's so cool to hear straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion in our team.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's awesome.
So we had a chance to actually survey our experts. They gave us a ton of feedback about the Steep series specifically. So that's what we wanted to really get into today. Something that people were saying was, it's unmatched in warmth, in breathability, in articulation, being able to move. We have a couple of the products here. Before we get into really the tech specifics that people are asking about, a couple of our experts had some more general kind of questions. One of our experts actually was asking how closely you guys work with athletes when designing this gear, and how much are you guys actually testing as you're designing the gear, and how much consumer input really goes into each piece.
So with the athlete question to start with, when we designed this Steep Series collection, they were really heavily involved in it. You mentioned the pattern cutting, and that came directly from them. We had them come into the office, like loads of them. Anytime somebody was in, it was like, can you come in and just simulate your movements for us? So our pattern experts could actually get a visual of how they were moving. And then that informed kind of where the seams were placed, how much articulation there was, and really developed the structure of the Brigadine, which I'm glad people are noticing it because it's something we're really proud of.
Yeah, it seems like they're really calling out the fact that they can tell that you guys are working with actual athletes. When they put on this gear, they're like, I know that a pro helped to make this, and I feel better in it because of it.
Yeah, and you can totally feel it when you put on the jacket. You're like ready to ski.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
The feedback they give us is invaluable. Obviously, they're skiing so much more than your average human, and they're so helpful for us. They don't just come into the office and give us feedback. They let us FaceTime them. They go through their closets with us. We ski with them. We just got back from a hut trip with Ian McIntosh. We skied last year with Xavier Delarue. Like, so we're out there with them while they're testing the gear, and they are spot on telling us, this pocket isn't functioning. I need this change. I love this. Do this. It's so interactive.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it seems like everyone on the team is also outdoorsy. You guys are using the products as well. How much does that play into, design inspiration and creativity?
A ton.
Huge.
I mean, just being able to get out there is really inspiring. To go riding with athletes is really inspiring. And yeah, at any opportunity, if someone says, do you want to go skiing tomorrow? We're like, yeah.
We go out as a team together all the time. So you would think like we would get sick of each other being in the office together all the time, but we don't. We spend a lot of our weekends together.
All in our purple jackets.
Exactly. Well, team perps is what we call ourselves, because this past season purple was a big color, so we're all wearing the same color. And, but yeah, we're all heavy users.
I love that. I feel like there's probably a lot of people behind their computers right now or even logged in on their phones who are having major job envy, because for a lot of people, this is like the dream. You guys get to live it every day.
For us too.
Pretty cool. Yeah, but sometimes
we pinch ourselves a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the hard work that you've put into products. Like I said, we were able to connect with experts, find out, what they were loving and what they wanted to know more about. And the Fuse Brigadine was something that came up over and over. People just keep wanting more. So what can we give them? What can we tell them that they might not know about these products?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. One of the things that's not clearly visible, like first up, is the fabric technology in this. So instead of seaming in like higher denier fabrics for abrasion, we've actually woven in more durable constructions into the fabric. So you can see like in pack areas, in belt areas, and then also in snowboard carry areas, the fabric is woven to be more durable in that zone. And it also gives a different visual aesthetic, which is becoming pretty iconic for this piece.
Absolutely.
And it alleviates the need for seams as well, which also reduces abrasion when you're wearing a pack.
And it's designed to be very pack friendly. All the pockets are positioned so you can access it when you're wearing a pack. The pants are also harness friendly if you ever get into something really extreme. And then we already talked about the fit and articulation, which for us is like a real selling point of this piece.
Yeah, that's amazing. One of the things that we did hear about was the durability. People are saying, I bought it, I've put it through its paces, and it looks like new.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
What can we talk about as far as how do you guys test these materials versus the end product? What is that process like?
So we test the materials in the lab. They'll all go under abrasion testings, and so each of these woven structures have all been lab tested for their properties. And then with the product testing, our whole athlete team gets it like a year before the public does. So they'll test it in the field. We'll be able to make adjustments before it goes to production.
Yeah.
Our team tests it all the time. So we're constantly making little tweaks and perfecting it before it gets to the consumer.
What happens to all of these tested products? You guys have like a secret room here that's just piled high with things that you've tried?
Full of North Face kit. It's kind of crazy.
We might have to take a look at that later.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Is there anything else about the Fuse that you wanted to call out specifically? Our experts are making recommendations every day. People come to them and they say, hey, I'm a first timer. Is this a product that would be appropriate for somebody who maybe isn't out skiing or snowboarding, multiple weeks at a time?
I think if it's something you're excited about, then it's great for you. If you put on a jacket and you feel awesome, you're going to have a good day riding. There may be some features like the radio pocket that might be overkill, but at the same time, it's not going to get in the way and hinder you. The fit's going to work for snowboarding or skiing regardless of your experience level.
Perfect. So don't shy away from the stuff that the pros are using, just
Yeah.
because you're not a pro.
I mean, we use it. We're
We
definitely
use
not
it.
pros.
We're definitely not pro.
I love that. The other product that people bring up a lot when we're talking about the Steep series is this one here. Do you mind if I just grab it and we can take a look? So tell us what this is called, how it came to be, and really what differentiates it from, let's say, the other products in the series.
This is our unlimited jacket. This is a hybrid mid-layer piece. In which there's an 800 fill power down in the body and then a Primaloft insulation in the lower portion here for moisture management. And then there's a woven abrasion resistant materials on the hood and on the sleeves that is uninsulated. So you're not overheating in this as your mid layer.
Yeah.
This also features, our woven baffle, our woven baffle technology, which is different than a regular stitch baffle and just offers more durability so that baffle won't tear out.
And this was like a direct request from the athletes when we redid the steep line this year. Like we had a whole rack of protos, our samples, competitor samples, everything, and told them to build their dream kit for us.
Oh, wow.
And so this was one of the concept pieces that came out of that. It was very much like an active down jacket. I want to be warm in my core. Yeah. I want to be able to breathe through my arms when I'm moving. And then there's even small differences between the men's and the women's. Like the guys didn't want an insulated hood and the girls absolutely did. So we will tailor it for gender as well when it's appropriate.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's something else that experts commented on a lot was, what really are the differences as you guys are designing for a man versus a woman or someone who has a bigger frame versus a smaller frame. So I'm glad that you brought up that little detail. What else can you tell us about what we can expect for like men's versus women's kind of clothing?
We definitely approach it like equipment, and men and women are doing the same activities, they have the same needs, and so we will always build it to the same standard. We don't differentiate there. If there's a feature specifically that women need, like our goggle pockets, for example, our female athletes like it when it wraps around the body, their frames are smaller, they don't have as much space to put things, so that's an example of where we would change a feature for women. And then in color, we try and also operate on a more genderless palette. We feel like it's a progressive way to do things, and we don't want to, this is a girl's color, this is a guy's color. Like, we think it's very powerful when it's one kit.
I love that. That's a comment that, again, it came up over and over in the survey results that we got. Women saying, let's shy away from the pink so much, maybe. Like, I just want to go out and shred and have a great time and, not call out attention to gender as much as just making sure that something fits right, that you can move in it. I love that you are able to receive that feedback and do like you did with the goggle pocket and actually incorporate that. How long does that feedback loop take? When people tell you what they want, when can they expect to see it?
It does depend on the time of year. I mean, it is endless. Like, we are constantly gathering feedback, right? So it just depends on the time and year of which we receive it. Right now, as our athletes are finishing up like their ski seasons, we'll be able to implement that for the fall 19 season.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's amazing. One of our experts also asked about, kind of mixing and matching. And obviously these people are out and they're layering and they've got a whole bunch of things going on. Do you guys design with that in mind, where you want people to be able to have an outfit that's compatible kind of from head to toe?
Yeah, we definitely think about layering. We fit all of our products, so you can layer either steep pieces or pieces throughout the brand as well. Like we have some of our athletes, we don't duplicate between like Summit Series and Steep Series within the line, so there may be a warmer down jacket that's not as specialized as this one that you could still wear under your Steep Series jacket if you wanted. Like, we're a brand, you can mix and match as you need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you guys in the hot seat. Do you each have kind of a go-to outfit, and what pieces are a part of that?
We do.
We switch them out, but
we're blessed that we can wear all of
change
these.
them out.
So you just go into the North Face closet and pick whatever you want.
Going skiing, it's like, what are you wearing today? What are you wearing?
As we said, we do design these outfits based on activity. So because we have the accessibility to all of them, we do change it based on what it is we're doing, on the conditions that we're riding in.
Okay.
So this is like our powder, or this would be my powder get-up, and then this would be my touring get-up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the mid-layers switch it out depending on conditions and weather,
Perfect. We're going to turn back for a couple of more expert quotes, comments, questions, feedback, because I know that's what you guys love and thrive on. Are you concerned with, different snow types? So when you guys are designing your gear, are you thinking, I might have a different experience in Utah than you in California, than someone in Canada, Minnesota, all of this?
Absolutely, yeah. So we do try to range our product to account for that, which is why we have anything from the most, bomber Gore-Tex shell that's going to keep you dry, in the Northeast, to down jackets that have a laminated fabric, so they do have, a level of waterproofness, but they're more intended to be worn in areas like Colorado or Wyoming, where it's drier, that you're not going to wet out those seams in a torrential downpour. So, and then we also have like 2-layer uninsulated shells where maybe, you just need something a little bit lighter weight there. We have so many different options. We definitely take into account the type of snow people are skiing.
And you're such a global brand. What's that process like when the whole snow sports team comes to the table and you're like, okay, we have to think about every person who wants to enjoy these sports and how can we accommodate their situations? What is that table like and that kind of like creative process between you guys?
It's a big puzzle. It's a lot of discussions.
That's a good way to describe it, actually.
And like a lot of problem solving. There's tons of different feedback to take into account, and we just try and juggle it and piece it all together. That's the fun part.
Yeah,
too.
It is the fun part. And as we've kind of already touched on, there's a lot of respect there amongst our teams and even our global teams, and we spend a lot of time with them, and so that always makes it easier to come to the final end product because we all know the way we're pushing, even if it is a give and take, like we're all trying to get to the best product out there.
I love that. And like I said, I think it shows. I think the experts' response to this says that you guys are doing a great job, so please keep it up. We're going to turn to some questions that we've got live. Beth wants to know, she says she's 41, she's seen a handful of companies that produce outdoor clothing for women who wear XL, double XL. You guys obviously make those sizes. She wants to know, they sell out so quickly. Is there more of that on the way? Is there more accommodation for people who fall outside of the sample size range?
Yeah, definitely. We know that this is a big ask brand wide, and it's not just on the larger side of the spectrum. It's an expanded sizing conversation in general. So this includes petite sizing, and it's not just focused on women's either. It's men and women asking for different lengths and pants, upper end extended sizing, and so we are looking at how to offer that brand wide, and we're also looking at expanding the number of styles that we offer up to like an extra large or double XL for women's. So it is an initiative that we're looking at, and we definitely know it's important that people of all sizes need to be out there. So,
awesome. Yeah. We know that you guys are designing pretty far out into the future, which is just crazy to me. Is there a piece or a collection that you can give us kind of a hint at that you're very excited about?
We both will I think we ride in the same piece.
Yeah.
And it's our Ventrix technology that's happening right now. The brand has launched Ventrix, but in snow sports coming up in fall 18, it will be new. And we have, actually, I can show this piece right behind you, this crew neck piece, which is featuring our Ventrix insulation. It's a lighter weight insulation package, so it's 60 grams. And then Ventrix is highly breathable. We actually slit the insulation so that when you're in motion, you're getting more breathability, and when you're standing still, those slits come back together and create a higher level of insulation.
That's so cool.
And the fabric itself has a really high CFM, so it's just breathing the whole time. Like for me riding in this, I always used to be a down insulated person, and this has changed me completely. It's awesome.
So everyone, not just the two of us,
our
whole team rides
converts
in this piece, and not just rides in it. A lot of people, it is their wear-around piece at the office even, and that is kind of where we wanted to go with like the crew neck styling and making it a little bit more easy wearable.
Day to day.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sam wants to know how closely you keep an eye on what the competition is doing.
We know what the competition, or we try and keep up to date with what the competition, like we don't go into their offices or anything, but we're definitely aware of the industry and what's happening, but at the same time we like to step back and make sure that we're creating something pure and with our own team and our own insights, so it's a balance between the two.
Yeah.
Something that you had mentioned earlier was that you brought in your athletes and gave them pieces of anyone's collection and kind of had them combine everything. Was it that Project Runway moment that I'm picturing where people were just like tearing things apart and stitching things together, or did they kind of just sit back and think and help you guys creatively come up with something?
It wasn't tearing things apart, stitching it together, but it was like a jumble sale with everybody grabbing it, trying it, thinking about what improvements they would make. It could be like, I like this jacket for this, but then put this hood on it and take out this insulation. So there was a lot of kind of back and forth discussions on what they needed.
They're just as excited about product as we are, and I think especially athletes that have been with the brand for a long time, they know that their feedback is directly taken in by this team.
Yeah.
And so I think they're excited to tell us exactly what they want because they know they probably will get it.
Right.
So it's an incentive for them as well.
I love that. It seems like you guys have built that trust of like, hey, if you tell us, we will listen, we'll incorporate it, we'll test it. So keep giving that feedback, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? Deb wants to know what it's like trying to keep up with world-class athletes in their own environment.
Terrifying.
Terrifying is a great word. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely feel out of our element sometimes especially when we're riding or skiing with our athletes. But I think one of the best things about our team is that they have no egos. Which I think is nice to hear about athletes at this level.
Yeah.
They are so kind and considerate of all of our ability levels, and they really try to help us enjoy whatever we're out doing. So
They'll push us and scare us for sure.
Yeah,
but in the best way possible. We've done snowboarding, skiing trips, and also climbing trips, and you come away from those just feeling so elated and inspired, and it just makes you want to make better product.
Awesome. Perfect. Howard wants to know if you could summarize a comparison between different series and who they're geared for. So the Steep series versus the Summit series. How would you recommend one to one consumer versus another?
It's hard to break that down completely, but I'll just point to snow sports is always a really nice blend of sort of trend and fashion and style combined with tech. When you get into snow sports, a lot of people will put their look, maybe not ahead of, but definitely at the same level as their tech. Whereas Summit Series starts to go a lot more alpine, the tech starts to sort of outweigh the style.
Yeah, there's a big style element. Yeah. And we're very focused on free riding, big mountain skiing. The descent is the priority. You do it for fun. It's not always a sufferfest. And then I'd say Summit, you're more focused on the weight of your fabrics and your gear, and it's a lot more committing in many times. And so
Yeah.
That's awesome. We've talked a little bit about where the snow sports team specifically is kind of going in the future. Is there anything that you can tell us about the North Face in general and what we can expect from the brand?
I think right now you're going to start to see a lot more cohesiveness as a brand. We operate, we have our snow sports team and our Summit Series team, but right now what's happening at the brand is all of those different teams are making an effort to all meet together and to collaborate, so not just on our singular teams, but as a brand, so that we come across with a really strong, powerful message all together.
Right. It goes back to what you were saying about, wanting to incorporate more styles that suit, a broader size range. So we can expect that not just in snow sports, but kind of across the brand.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love it. Well, I'm ready to start shopping personally. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for participating. If you want to shop the North Face products, you can do that right here from this page. If you want to learn more about North Face products, you can do that here as well. Get learning, get shopping. Thank you ladies so much for representing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was awesome.